offensively and defensively tonight.
Yeah, and they did it with starters and they did it with a bench. All the starters in double figures, Demps, they had 9 players make a three-pointer. They had 4 with multiple threes. This is Miami Heat's game. Their game is making threes. The Nuggets defended their threes, and Nuggets were able to knock them down.
Yeah, Miami came into this game with the second best defense in terms of points allowed. They only allowed 102 points per game. The Nuggets put 120 on the board. And as you mentioned, it began with Nikola Jokic and Bones Highland. These two players came back tonight after extended absences due to injuries. And this is what they did, Hans. I mean, they really played well and gave the Nuggets the shot in the arm that they needed.
You know, Joker started off phenomenal. First quarter, like 9 points. 7 rebounds, built that lead. And the lead got cut down to 3 points, and then Bones came to life. He had the deepest threes in a row as the Nuggets built a 20-point lead at halftime because Bones interjected that offense for the second unit.
You know, one of the things that really stood out to me, I thought, in watching both of these two individuals play, and I'm going to say this is a little bit obvious, but the pop in their step, they seem to just have that extra oomph about their games, and I think for Bones especially, and he'd been dealing with a lot of injuries. He really looked
well. I said it off the open. I'm a big believer that first game down, when you're at altitude for a while, that first game down, it's like red blood cell. It's a scientific fact, fellas. So anyway, you come down, you just feel juiced, and that's the way the Nuggets played tonight. They played with a lot of life in their legs, a lot of spark. Nobody seemed to be tired on the court, and translated in just a great game for the Nuggets.
Yeah, and Bones was dealing with a lot of injuries, hip and ankle injuries, and so he looks definitely healthy. Defensively, Hans, this was really well done. I mean, there really only one quarter, 35 points Miami scored in that third quarter, got away from the Nuggets, but by and large, the kind of effort that they were looking for.
Yeah, and that third quarter was Bam Adebayo. He made shots, but all in all, the Nuggets defense so good. They just got deflection. How about that steal by the rookie? Just reading the play perfectly. So many plays. The Joker right here gets the deflection. It's a 2-on-1. He stops the play, and it leads to a fast break dunk. I mean, that's the kind of defense you got to have.
You know, we talked about a couple things pregame here with this defense as far as it's concerned. One, you see the fly around that you just talked about. They were disruptive. They were disruptive against the Milwaukee Bucks the other night, but they were able to get more stops, especially early on tonight. What's the difference between just getting turnovers and getting consistent stops?
Turnovers, you gamble a little more when you're small. They played small without Joker. Joker's size made a difference because there were some plays where Miami chose to get off the three-line, attack the hoop in the first half, and Joker made a miss. I mean, he just that little extra arc you got to put on your shot, whatever it is. But not only did he make a miss, but he grabbed rebounds.
Yeah, and with defense, you got to have offense. And for the Denver Nuggets, it's been a roller coaster ride at the three-point line this season, but not tonight. Everything was trending up on the line. 18 of 35 from the three-point line. When the Nuggets hit 18 in a game like this and at such a high percentage, what's going well for them?
Well, they just seem to feel it. And whether it's Joker coming back, it's feeling your leg. You often talk, as shooters go, if you feel like you don't have dead legs but strong legs, all these shots, guys had pop in them. And Bones, perfectly squared up, hitting shots. Joker with some great passes, those corner threes inside out. Those are the ones you want. Those are the ones that Miami really lives by. And the Nuggets just dominated the three-point line on a team that's one of the best in the league.
Yeah, this is when the Nuggets envisioned shooting 43-pointers in the game. I mean, the percentage is really high here, 51%. But this is the kind of shooting that they most definitely envisioned. So both ends of the court, the Nuggets really, really good today. All right, let's pay off our point bet pulse. Let's take a look at what happened here today. And the over, guess what? The over hit on the combined point total, and then you see the Barton and Gordon combined points almost getting. That was, Aaron Gordon really scoring in the second half.
Second half, Will Barton really came on the second half, and don't forget those guys sat like the last.
Nikola comes back, Bones come back, so as you get a little bit healthier, and those guys went out and played well. But I'm just proud of our guys. Hasn't been easy, but like I said pregame, I really feel our group has stayed together. You were at practice last night. There's good energy. It's not like guys are jumping. We understand that the injuries are a part of it. And as we get healthy, if we stay the course, good things are going to happen. So, yes, it feels outstanding to get a win, and it feels outstanding to get a couple of our guys that have been out back in the lineup.
How much is it just like a pressure release to have Nikola back on both ends of the floor? And you always say it makes everything easier.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. This whole team is kind of, built around Nikola. He's the focal point and centerpiece of our offense. And the same can be said for our defense. So while he was out, we struggled. And I think that happens on any team when you take out an MVP. There's going to be, side effects from that. So to have him back, I think, was a confidence booster for our guys. And, right from the very first play when he drew the foul, got to the foul line, saw it go in. And 24, 15, and 7 on your first game back is outstanding. So yes, calming influence, and it was just great to see him out there and playing at the level he played at.
To that point, 19 points and 5 3-pointers is pretty good in your first game back too from Bones.
Yeah, Bones was great. And I've said it the last couple of days. During our 5-game homestand, Bones Highland was a huge part of that. I think there are 3 games within that 5 where he was creating a new season and career high game after game. He got hobbled with the ankles, and he got right. And last night at practice, he was flying around. And so I was excited about the possibility of him coming back, because with his speed and quickness and his shooting ability, he's always a threat. And obviously he was outstanding in 20 minutes to put up those types of numbers. Shows you how valuable he is. I thought Aaron Gordon was great. Obviously, I thought Will and Monte did their job. Facu, 10 points off the bench, 5 assists. This was a team win. Yes, Nikola and Bones came back and were great, but this was a team win against a team that is a little banged up. But it's great to start our 7-game road trip off with a win, and hopefully we can continue that moving to Orlando.
Michael, what stands out about the defensive effort from the first half, and what, if anything, did you notice change in the second half?
I went from good to bad.
Okay.
That's what I noticed.
Yep.
The first half, I told the guys at halftime, don't get bored with success. I thought we were up 20 at halftime, and I just talked about our defensive numbers. I thought it was great. Obviously, they scored 35 and then 33 in the fourth quarter. We gave up 15 threes and 48 in the paint. But I tell you what, Vinny, I'd much rather clean this up after a win and break a 6-game losing streak. And that's all that matters. Hopefully this gives us a little bit of confidence moving forward and kind of gets that bad taste out of our mouths.
Was there relief in the locker room? Could you feel it?
I don't know if relief was the right word, because I don't think any of us ever doubted that we were still a good team. I think we were just, when you're as banged up as you are, you're going to hit a tough spell. And how you handle that tough spell will determine how you come out of it. So I don't know if relief is the right word, but there was definitely, some joy, some smiles, some hugs. And as corny as that sounds, man, winning is a great pain reliever. We've all been down in the dumps, and to get this win tonight kind of just stops all that and allows us to kind of get back to feeling good about ourselves.
Michael, not to make too much of one win, but does it reaffirm or validate that you guys have a hell of a lot to play for? Even with all the injuries, when Nikola comes back, you guys are still a very good team.
Yeah, I mean, our mentality never changes. I think that's something that we've prided ourselves on for years. We've had a ton of injuries. This is the first time we've had to play without Nikola, which is a little bit different. But no Jamal Murray, no P.J. Dozier, no Michael Porter Jr. for the foreseeable future. I love the guys in that locker room. I'll go to war with them. And obviously tonight was just one win, but after losing 6 in a row, by no means have we said, all right, well, we're going to change our goals now. There's 62 games left. So much basketball to be played, and that's why you can't get too high and you can't get too low. You got to try to stay the course. So you move on to play another day.
We've heard a lot about Bones' range, and I feel like tonight maybe we saw it more than we have in the previous however many games. Is that something you guys talk about, hey, this is a good shot, maybe ease off this one, or are you just going to kind of let him figure it out on his own?
Yeah, I mean, going back to the draft process, when Tim Connolly in the front office targeted Bones as one of our potential picks at 26. There's videos of Bones on YouTube, just draining 40-footer after 40-footer. So it's a shot that he can make and is comfortable making. They played a lot of zone in that second half, which allowed some of those threes to happen. We ran a couple of ATOs for Bones to get him looks.